familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for their daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere, and the tears are filling up their glasses. No expression, no expression. Hide my head, I wanna drown my sorrow. No tomorrow, no tomorrow. And I find it kinda funny, I find it kinda sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Mad world. Children waiting for the day they feel good. Happy birthday, happy birthday. And I feel the way that every child should. Sit and listen, sit and listen. Went to school and I was very nervous. No one knew me, no one knew me. Hello teacher, tell me what's my lesson. Look right through me, look right through me. And I find it kinda funny, I find it kinda sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Mad world. Hey, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out Mad World. I'm going to be basing it more on the Gary Jules version than the original Tears for Fears one, a little bit more melancholic. I think it works great on acoustic guitar and electric guitar, really. It's only 4 chords all the way through. You need E minor, G, D and A. I'm going to take you through a few different approaches that you might like to use to play the song. You can use real simple strumming, a strumming pattern. You can play it fingerstyle or do what I do, which is kind of mixing up strumming with picking out notes individually while you're strumming. It's a really fun technique, so I'll take you through a bit of that as well. So let's get started. Starting off with the intro, we're going to have just a bar of E minor and then a bar of A. So you could just be using those real bog standard kind of grips if you want. E minor to A. But a couple of things that you might like to try just straight off the bat. You could try E minor to A sus2, which just moves the same fingers down. Doesn't really matter if you're doing E minor, you could do A sus2 like that. It's this. Open 5th string, 2nd fret, 2nd fret, thinnest 2 strings open. Just adds a little bit more air to the sound of the chord. So it's a little bit more open sounding than playing the full A. If I play the A now, the A definitely kind of sounds happier, but the sus adds a little bit of air. But there's a really cool little trick I can show you where you get the air and you get that major third. So this trick, there's your E minor, but there's a really nice way of playing this A. It's called an A add 9. And it's this. So we're muting the thicker string, or just not playing it. Open 5th string, 7th fret, 6th fret, open 2nd string, and open thinner string. That way you get this note here, which is same as that one, the note C sharp, but you also get the B string. It actually sounds cool because of this clash. If you play it by itself, it sounds a little bit wrong, but in the context it sounds really nice. So I'm guessing you'd call this an A add 9, but to be honest it doesn't really matter what you want to call it, it's just a kind of an A chord. So having the intro, E minor, and then going to your fancy A. Let's call it fancy A. That would be the intro. We're going to add in a little lead line on that a little later. But now let's just jump straight into the verse. So the verse is E minor. All around me are G chord faces, D chord places, A chord faces, and again E minor. Bright and early for their G chord races, D chord nowhere, A chord nowhere. And it's that progression all of the way through the verses. So just one bar of E minor, one bar of G, a few different options for G, we'll talk about that in a second. D, pretty standard, and then A. I'd probably tend to stick to the regular A there for the verses. But the G chord, this is an interesting one because you can definitely use, a lot of people play G this way. I don't tend to use that first finger there. I tend to play it like that. Or I tend to play it like this, which is going to be 3rd fret, muting the 5th string, open, 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 3rd fret. That one works as well. Whichever of those G's you like the sound of is the one that you should choose. Don't choose the one that's easiest for you. Choose the one that you think sounds best. That would be my little tip. I quite often play that one, but I also experiment with the other one. I might use different ones in different parts of the song, so I might change a little bit random. It really doesn't matter. Find the one that you like the sound of. Moving into the chorus is E minor to A, and that's it. It just repeats that. So E minor. And I find it kinda A chord, I find it kinda E minor. The dreams in which I'm A chord are the best I ever E minored. I find it hard to A you, I find it hard to E minor. When people run in A chord, it's a very, very E minor. Mad A, 3, 4, E minor, mad A, and then you can go to the intro again if you want. You could play a little instrumental section there, or you could go straight into another verse, really completely up to you. But that is the 2 sections. You've got an intro, you've got a verse, and you've got a chorus. The verse, E minor, G, D and A, 1 bar each. Chorus, E minor to A. So really, really nice one. I definitely recommend learning to play it with the super simple 4 down strums to the bar first of all. Make sure you can do it in time, i.e. play it without stopping. What you don't want to be doing is going E minor, stop, change the chord, and then A. Like, you're going to do that a little bit. If you're a real beginner, that's kind of normal. But you want to get out the habit of doing that as soon as you can and try and keep the rhythm consistent. I should mention that if you're struggling with your rhythm or you're worried about developing this bad rhythm habit, you should definitely check out the JustinGuitar Lessons and Songs app. It contains hundreds of songs specifically tailored for beginner guitar players, and you play along with backing tracks. Backing tracks don't stop. So you never develop that bad habit of stopping there. Sometimes you'll panic a little bit with the rhythm, you'll struggle with the changes, that's normal, but you won't develop a bad rhythm habit. Okay, really the key thing with rhythm guitar is keeping the hand moving and keeping the beat, even if the chords go wrong. Right, so the app is super solid for that. If you haven't checked it out before, go and have a look there. I'm sure there's a free trial on. There'll be a link downstairs or upstairs somewhere here on the video. So do go and give it a look. There's a tuner built in and all my beginner lessons and all that stuff as well. So do go check it out. So once you're feeling confident with the easy 4 down strums, you probably want to add a strumming pattern. And there are lots of different strumming patterns that would work with a song like this. Remember, we're making up this acoustic guitar arrangement, so there's not a set one that you have to play. I think most people are confident with Old Faithful. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. Again, you can see that the hand doesn't stop moving, right? That's the key thing here. Again, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. It doesn't look any different to if I was doing all down strums, right? If I'm going down, down, up, down, 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 up, up, down, and I'm going down, 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 down. The arm movement is exactly the same. The thing that you're controlling is when you're hitting the strings. Really, really important, okay? So again, I always recommend that you work on rhythm independently as well as playing in songs. So just sitting there working with a metronome or playing along with a backing track, even if you can play it along with songs that you don't even know the chords for, and just really working on keeping yourself in time, making sure you're feeling nice and relaxed, getting that rhythm really confident. Because when you're playing a song and you've got, chord changes and lyrics to think about, you can't be thinking about the strumming too. So really try and automate it, okay? Really, really big deal. When you're confident with that, play through the song again, but use the rhythm pattern that you've been working on. So in this case, 3, 4, down, down, up, down to the A. Or you could use the fancy A. Into the verse, E minor. All around me are the G chord faces, D chord places, A chord faces, E minor. Early for the G chord races, D chord nowhere, A chord nowhere. And I find it kinda funny, I find it kinda sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I ever had. You get the idea. Just sticking with that straight rhythm pattern. If you want to get a little bit more fancy, one thing that you might want to stay aware of is making the verses a little quieter and then the choruses a little louder, just so there's kind of a difference as we move through the song. If the rhythm is exactly the same all of the way through, it can get a little bit boring for the listener. So you might want to try that, or you might go real simple for the verses. You could go real simple, one strum per bar. So all around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for the daily races. Keep it simple, keep it simple. Maybe you will add an extra strum in the second verse. Extra strum there will make it sound like it's going somewhere. And it's kind of fun to play around with it. Just keep your arm moving, keep your arm moving. Then the chorus is a little louder, you can see it's picking up. I'm gonna cut it short just so you get the idea when we're going back to the verse. Mad world. We've got a dynamic now, so we've dropped back down for the mad worlds. Then again, children waiting for the day they feel good. That's a little bit extreme, but I'm hoping that you get that idea that having those different patterns in different parts of the songs really lifts it up. It's a really nice thing to be at least aware of, your dynamics. Now, you can definitely play this as fingerstyle as well. I think fingerstyle works really nice. I don't want this to turn into a whole fingerstyle lesson. If you want more fingerstyle lessons, go and head on over to the website, type in fingerstyle and you'll find plenty. But really nice pattern if you want something to just get started with. Start with your thumb playing the bass note of each chord. Fingers 1, 2 and 3 will go on the thinnest 3 strings. Really great pattern. Even 8th notes will be thumb 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2. Thumb 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Again, that's the kind of pattern that you want to practice independently. Don't learn the pattern and then immediately try and stick it on all the chords. Practice the pattern by itself, especially if you're going to sing. You ain't going to be thinking about the fingerstyle pattern while you're singing. It's just not going to happen. You have to automate it. So practice it over and over again. Now when you're changing chords, we change the bass note, but the rest of the fingers stay the same. So with the G, it's still the same strings. For the D, thumb is going to move over to play the 4th string. For the A, thumb is going to play the 5th string. So thumb plays thickest, thickest string again, 4th string, 5th string. Around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for the day places, going nowhere, going nowhere. When it comes to the chorus, you could stick with doing the fingerstyle thing, or you could strum with your fingers. That would be a nice way of breaking it up again. So, you know, if you're learning fingerstyle, try applying it to this song. It's a really good way of doing it. If you're a little bit more advanced, you want to get into the kind of the next step up of it, what I like to do when I'm playing a song like this is strumming and picking the notes out with the pick. So I'm kind of strumming. So it really is pretty random. I'm making sure I play kind of a strum down on beat 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's really the upstrokes that you hear, because the upstrokes I'm targeting the thin strings, but not in a particular pattern. You could make up a pattern if you wanted to, but I'm not sticking to one. I tend to just like strum it and let my hand kind of move around. And again, you don't have to play all the time. You could go. Hopefully you're noticing that my hand doesn't stop moving. I could be strumming like that for all it looks like. Now, that technique does take a little bit more effort. You want to be doing that really super slowly and focusing on keeping your arm moving all the time, and then starting to let your pick and hand develop eyes and find the strings. Feels really difficult to start off with, but it won't take long for your hand to just kind of figure out where those strings are, and you'll be able to pick the strings out individually. You can target strings on the downstrokes as well, but I think that targeting strings on the upstrokes, the up strum, the up movement, is a little bit easier. So you might want to start off with that at least. So that kind of technique is what I'm using for the little intro. This is just my idea for the intro, and you could absolutely take it and explore it and make it your own anyway. You don't have to stick to this. It's just an idea. You could play it fingerstyle. You could strum it all the time. Lots and lots of different ways of approaching it, and I'd encourage you to experiment. But let me show you what I've been doing. So basically, I'm looking for this note here would be the same as here. That's what I'm looking for. But the chord is E minor. So I'm just strumming the B chord, but I've got little finger down here. 3rd fret, 2nd fret, open, and then I'm playing the open 2nd string as well. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and... You could also do... the way I always used to play it. I don't know why I've got into using different fingers, but here using fingers 2 and 3 for the E minor, and using little finger and moving it back. That's absolutely legit as well. But here, this note, this is going to come on an up pick on the and after 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, so you need to have a little bit of confidence with being able to pick your up pick on the 3rd string on that note if you're going to target that one. There's other approaches, as I said, but and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So I go there, and the rest of it's actually just a little bit random. 1 and 2 and 3. So I'm going 1 and... So I'm going down strum 1, and I'm playing probably the 4th string. And now the last two, I'm aiming for the 3rd string, but allowing myself to strum, and then doing definitely an up strum on the last. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3. And again, I'm not being too precise about it. I'm just like letting it strum. if you find that picking out the notes individually like that a little hard, you can kind of strum it and go. That works as well, just strumming all those. Therefore, in that particular version, I'm just playing on changing chords on the beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Probably want to have 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and just let it hang a little bit. That makes it kind of nice going into a new section. I think having those little things like the intro there, it can really kind of elevate your game a little bit rather than just having the chords. If you've got like little intro or instrumental section that you can pop into even simple songs, it makes it sound a little bit more slick and I think a little bit more fun to play as well. But like I said, this is just my idea for playing that little riff. Feel free to experiment, find other ways of playing it. I'm sure you can come up with something that you really like the sound of, that you really enjoy doing. I really hope you enjoyed this lesson. Remember, there are hundreds of beginner lessons over on the website, completely for free. Go and check it out. All of the songs are organised by difficulty. Lessons on pretty much anything a beginner's going to want to know, and probably for more advancing guitar players, intermediate as well. So yeah, go check it out if you haven't been over there recently. Lots of fun, exciting courses going on over there all the time. So have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for plenty more very soon. Bye-bye.